Holy cow, man. Okay. This is using... Oh man, that's not gonna work. That is not gonna work. Packet loss. Wow. Let's see if it stabilizes, or if this is even understandable. Let's see... Oh, nope. Still dropping frames. Well, let's see if it stays any better. Oh, thank you for letting me know, by the way. I've been trying to narrow down some internet issues. Now, the real question is whether the audio will stay that clear. Let's give this another try. SAS on, engines. Let's see what's startup. Throttle up, start first engines. Wait until about now. Second engines, good. Liftoff, switch to air breathing. Gear up. Switch to inside the cockpit, and whee! Does not want to tip over. There we go. Come on. Ah. Oh wait, it's stuck in... No wonder I'm not flying it right. It's stuck in rocket mode. Okay. Now we're talking. Let's see if I can reach polar orbit. Alright, let's point this nose to 70, angle it at about 30 degrees or so. Right, oh, about there-ish. Alright, hands off the stick. Yeah, what I'm gonna have to do is, I've got a second computer with a capture card. Which, the capture card is great, but I'm not sure about Elgato's Game Capture HD software. Now, it's actually rather interesting that the stream is still running okay, considering I inadvertently set the bit rate higher than it normally should be. I might... Oh, I see it. Check audio settings. Is it still clear? Alright, switch this over to internal. And I think I want to start up these little guys. So this craft has three types of engines. It has turbo ramjet engines, air breathing, similar to what is same idea to what was on the SR-71 spy plane. This is a Rapier engine, which uses both oxidizer stored in tanks, like a normal rocket engine, so it works in space. But it's also able to breathe air, so it is an air-breathing rocket engine. So it's able to run in the atmosphere without using up the oxidizer until we get up to out of the atmosphere, and then it can switch over. And these are just little radioisotope generators that have been turned into rockets. They don't put out much thrust, but they are super efficient. Let's tip this all the way over. And kill these engines. So these are the only ones running. And let's see, was it 3 or 9? 9? Oh, there it goes. Let's pop out the radiators, because these things get hot. Took quite a bit of tweaking to get this design to actually work, since it's extremely hard to stack engines like this. I had to use some adapters, like tiny girder in there, and very careful angling of all the involved surfaces to get that to work. What it does allow, though, is tremendous efficiency once this is actually out of the atmosphere. It's kind of part of what makes the whole thing work. Which reminds me, I installed MacJeb, but I've never used it. Do I have to add a button for it? MacJeb, no. So, in space, but not near... Oh, what's that? Kaboom. Ah, some debris is still floating around up here. If I gave up now, it'd end up re-entering over here, which would actually be... Wait, I was going for a polar orbit. I went the wrong way. Yeah. So I get for not paying attention to what I'm actually reading on the nav ball. That's like the worst direction to go to reach orbit, because you have to fight the rotation that you already started with. So this is like the worst orbit possible. Let's see if it can make it. Let's see, still has some fuel in those tanks, still got plenty of fuel there. Yeah, I've got a lot of debris that I should probably deal with at some point, so... Oh, wait, here's some more. Oh, there it goes. So that should... Why is that even up here? Where is that? Oh, okay, so that did make orbit. You know, I wonder if it's that software that's screwing things up. Hmm. Let's see, OBS hasn't reported any extra frames lost. Now the problem is... Oh, wait. Uh... That... Well, as you can see, altitude is dropping, so... Ah... The nice thing, though, is even though this is about to run out of oxidizer, which means this probably isn't actually going to be able to make it to orbit, simply because it no longer really has the thrust to do so. It would have been just fine if I went in the right direction, but you're trying to make a single-staged orbit spacecraft, there's not much in the way of margin for mistakes. So this is actually going to be a very good test of the re-entry protection, because I don't think we're going to space today. Radiator's working fine. Yep. So close, too. Man, I've got a lot of junk. what I had those guys doing. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna flip a quick switch here. I'll be right back. Okay. What I did there is I reduced the stream's bitrate from... I had it set too high. 4,000 is more than it really needs to be. It's down to 2,500, which is YouTube's maximum recommended. And let's see. Yeah, I've actually considered what it would take to really clean everything up. There is a series called Planet Test that involves cleaning up space junk. I could probably do it too. But here comes the atmosphere. A little bit more speed, maybe an extra 100 meters per second or so, and I think we could have made it. But at this point, this is going to be a real fiery re-entry. I should probably bring in the panels here real soon. Let's see, that's 9. And let's go ahead and... I don't think I need these guys anymore. Let me go ahead and cut them, and I'll manually just shut them. I can. That's not letting me click them. Alright, so this thing is going to blow up if I'm not careful, so let's go ahead and inflate the heat shield up front and point this prograde. We want everything in the shield. However, I would like to avoid crashing into the surface, so if possible, I'd like to get the nose up. Except this thing seems to wants to do what it wants, what it feels like. Yeah, re-entering spacecraft, some really impressive fireworks. Just worried I'm not gonna be able to get the nose up. Okay, so I think if I jettison the heat shield. Okay, so don't jettison the heat shield at Mach 2. Whoops. Vessel is destroyed. Cannot autosave. Alright, let's take a look at another design. The problem with the inflatable heat shield is that it acts like a it has a large point of lift almost ahead of the actual heat shield itself. The idea is to make sure that the heat shield stays face first, I guess you can say, because if that ended up like acting like wings, could end up in the back and not doing anything good. Let's see. Well, what I've also got going on, and after this I do believe I'll have to take a break and review the video, because yeah, if the audio was complete garbage before, I think I'll have to probably get in contact with the Elgato guys and see if I can get my game capture card to actually work with Open Broadcaster software. Alright, so this ridiculous thing is basically a giant lander, and I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you very much for your feedback. It actually helps quite a bit. And SAS on 3, 2, 1, go. These guys are so beefy, don't even need the main engines. Already hit Mach 1.5. Probably coming up to the burnout. 6 seconds. And just in time. And go. So these side pods out here are actually pretty much the space shuttle main engines, which is why they're so good at steering. And this also has a thing that isn't going to happen anytime soon, a nuclear light bulb. A type of nuclear engine that has some pretty great advantages, but holy crap, it would be incredibly hard to make. But this thing is perfectly capable of landing on moons and landing on pretty much everything except back on Kerbin, which is kind of a problem. I kind of accidentally launched one of these. I think I was screwing around, didn't realize it. And I have an unfinished design in space, so yes, I have even more space junk, and I have to figure out how to bring it back. And if it needs to, it can drop those, and this thing can fly for a very, well, long time isn't really a good term, but it has a massive capability of going pretty much wherever it wants. Because this thing is incredibly efficient. Like, about 4 times as efficient as the best chemical engines. Kinda runs hot, you can tell. But, let me show you the space junk I have to deal with. Actually, if you're talking about space junk, I've got some pretty interesting stuff floating around. Let's see. I have... Let's see, I have a Pew Pew 2R that is in orbit around the moon. So I had to leave this guy behind because it wouldn't balance out the craft on the way back. So this thing is still usable, I just need to get back to it and fuel it up. I've also got... this guy, which I thought was pretty cool when I was able to get this design all the way from Kerbin to the moon, and it worked. Doesn't have anybody in it, but it does have a probe core, so I can still control it. And since it has solar panels, it's not going to run out of battery anytime soon. I wonder if I can get it to scoot forward. Go for it, dude! Yeah! So that guy's just kind of hanging around and popping wheelies. You know, as you do on the moon. Yo! Um, maybe. Let me get back to you. Oh, we've got some gluten-free soy sauce. We have some gluten-free soy sauce. Give me a sec, I'll be done in a bit. And let's see, so that was stuck there. I've also got this guy who isn't going to go anywhere soon. Oh wait, this is a different one. This is a... Holy crap, I forgot this was out here. Well, how you doing, Valentina? I kind of forgot you were riding the electric scooter. Whoops. Okay, so this is a design I put together for an ultra lightweight space shuttle maneuverability vehicle. So all it is it's got a pilot seat, it's got batteries, it's got xenon fuel tanks, solar panels, supporting equipment, and a ion engine. So even though it doesn't look like much, the fact that it can do it all day means I think I was able to get her from the orbit of Kerbin all the way out here in this tiny thing. So far it's been very successful. Let's see what else we got. Where is the rover? There you are. Now getting a rover into space was one of the biggest challenges I've had in this game. And I think the controls are still kind of wonky. For some reason they ended up backwards. Let's see, got the brakes off. Okay, so if that works. So this is a space buggy that is also capable of flight. Wrong button. If I turn them on, it'll probably end up flipping directly over, but it has engines, so this thing is actually capable of flying around. And as you can see here, I kind of had a field trip with my Kerbal staff. Tried to get a lot of experience, didn't work the way I expected. But this thing still works, and since it's got solar panels, it should work as long as I need it to, so when I come back, I land in the area, I can totally use this thing again. Let's go ahead and put on the parking brakes. I've also got space junk. Let's see. Oh man, I did leave that guy behind, didn't I? This guy is left in the orbit of Duna. And most of it is actually still on the surface of the planet. This was the part that actually got everybody back, and as you can see, nobody's here. Fuel tanks were dry. Audio stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. That's not a good sign. So this guy is just floating around. I don't think I can really reuse them again, especially because I needed to lose the lander engines. But I do also... Let's see, we got that satellite in orbit. We've got a satellite in orbit of Ike. Let's see. Yep, that guy is just floating around. I haven't This is an early probe that is just going to float around for a while. Some of the designs of the spacecraft I have are kind of weird, and the reason for that is I tried to combine. There were some spacecraft I designed which had like 4 or 5 different missions, all in one spacecraft, and they look completely ridiculous. But they totally worked and got me like ridiculous amounts of cash for one rocket launch. The downside is it took some kind of unorthodox engineering, doing stuff that I've never thought I'd have to do before, but as you can see, the Too Many Hats 2 has a few things going on for it. It's got some pretty big honking engines to get it up into space, lots of fuel, a huge parachute so I can get a lot of it back. This was part of a mission to try to do a test on a part in orbit around the moon, so that's why it's freaking huge. We've got a, let's see, this I think is an engine for this part. That's a spacecraft. That is a spacecraft. That is a spacecraft, and as you can see, so kinda silly. But it did exactly what I needed it to, and normally something like this would not work at all. It would just kind of wibble wobble, topple right over. But with these girders on the outside and the struts kind of keeping it all together. Let's see, how many bits were there? And go. So let's see, we have the outer engines, yep. Okay, we've got that. Then we've got that engine down there. Don't need that anymore. Let's see if I can peel that off. Whoopsie! Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. Probably should have had the... Hope nobody's in that. Oh, just don't need that. Go away. Okay, don't need that anymore. And fireworks. I'm sure the staff on the ground would really appreciate all that. The heck is going on over there? Yeah, it was kind of a challenge to put together because I started with, okay, here's a capsule, what do I need it to do? Let's put this part on, put this part on, put this part on, and about 2 hours later, how do I use these? Oh, no oxidizer, okay. Bunk. And finally, after this I'll have to take a break here, but I'm glad you enjoyed some of the things I was able to put together, and thanks for giving me that subscribe, because I've got more of it too. Let me switch to the vehicle assembly, and the last thing I think I wanted to... Let's see, was it a pew pew or another design? I'm bad at naming spacecraft. Unless I look up a name generator or something like that. So let's pop in the hangar. And let's see, 2.5 boost. Let's see, that's the rover, Strider. I was taking a break for a little while, especially with the internet connection issues, but well, I do KSP, but I also do other games as well. But I'd say I try to stream at very least a couple of times a week, and I'm going to try to get back onto a schedule. So I stream every so often. I will have to get a schedule at some point, though. Let's give this a try. This is kind of an attempt, well, this is the third version as you can see, but the base craft was an attempt to make the smallest functional space plane I could. And I think it turned out very well, so... Yay! Alright, let's... Oh, I should probably turn SAS on. Let's get the gear up. And cut this engine off. What this lets me do... stuff like this. Yeah. And then stuff that no self-respecting airplane should ever do, like that. Whee! Alright, that didn't go quite as planned, but I think I've got another hopper design too. Let's see, this one, the original hopper, was an attempt to make a jet-based... Okay, so that's an afterburning turbofan. Why don't I give it... a ramjet? Let's see what happened. I can get the engines to line up right. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Although the problem with those engines is they don't produce that much thrust until they get going really fast. They're kind of a combination of a normal turbojet and a ramjet. So they require a lot of airflow to actually get up to thrust. But let's see what happens. Oops, I just popped out the parachutes. Okay. Take two. First, let's fix the staging. Second, turn SAS on. And oh, just got another audio complaint from YouTube. Now this one is set to rocket. That's not going to help me much. Okay, there we go, plane mode. So let's see what this thing can do. Full power. Gear up. So you might be able to tell the one that I was showing off that could try to get to orbit is actually based off of this design. turned out very well, actually. Whoa. As long as I can keep it under control, which I'm having trouble right now. Maybe I need to keep the gears out. Okay, I can steer it. Gone past Mach 1. Let's see if it'll stay stable if I fold the gear in. Oh good, I did add parachutes, okay. The reason I say that is because it's nearly impossible to actually land this thing without parachutes. I tried and it just doesn't work out. Mach 3. Let's see how long until this thing bursts in. Oh, there it goes. Mach 4. This thing is going to blow up right about now, so I'm gonna cut the engine. Now. Looks like it'll need a little bit more heat management capability to exceed Mach 4 and some change. And I've got a lot of mess around the planet. It does allow me to almost do a intercontinental travel. Let's see if I can land this thing. Whee! So even though it doesn't have explicit wings, the body itself is still providing lift. Which is part of the reason why this is even able to work. But I would like to slow down, so... Oop. You know, I haven't played Minecraft in a bit, but I definitely do play Minecraft. Let's see, do I have... Oh yeah, I need to log in. Yeah, I'll deal with that later, but yes, I do play Minecraft. And I've actually managed to, it's a couple of versions past, but I have been able to beat Minecraft on hardcore. And by beat, I mean get all the way, defeat the Ender Dragon, and get the ending. I managed to do it on hardcore. That end fight was tough. Man, those things run hot. No, that's what this is missing. Yeah, it was pretty hard, especially with the game put me on a platform. It was positioned directly above the void, with the dragon coming right at me, so I got very lucky that I was able to chuck a ender pearl over to where I could safely get over there. But I did it. It was awesome. So I can say I beat Minecraft. I need to get this a lot... Oh, okay, there we go. Easy does it. The problem with engines of this type, turbine engines, is the, let's see, that must have been a Mars base. What is the name of that mod? Galacticraft? Yeah, that's always fun. Especially when you have to deal with, like, things like oxygen and that sort of thing. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Come on. Spool up the engine just a bit to ease... Never mind. Much harder without the parachute. So, I think that should do it. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, I wonder how you got to Mars and Vanilla then. Oh well. Either way, thank you for watching. This has actually been very helpful on my end, and I'll have more of this stuff later on, so if you like what you saw, you'll see more of it. So, thanks for watching. Let's see. Thanks for watching. I will catch you later. A very safe design. Thanks again.